Hi, this is your PA1000. You have given this keyboard for repair for the onboard speakers not working. Output is working. Onboard speakers not working because this IC has failed. This is the amplifier IC. This is the jack board. This is the main board. Can you see this division? This is the division between the two boards. This is your main board, and this is your jack board. So on the jack board there is an amplifier IC which supports your speakers. Okay, so outputs will come, but now this IC cannot be replaced because this IC is not available loose, and neither can it be removed from this board because it comes hard glued sticked on the PCB. So wait, I'll show you. I'll zoom in. This is the IC. Number is 74ADSHTGA. So this is the amplifier IC. Sorry, this is the serial number. On top is the serial number. This is the actual number of the IC. TAS5766M. I repeat, TAS5766M. This is the number of the IC, the actual number of the amplifier IC. Now this will not be available anywhere loose, and also it cannot be removed from this board. The only alternative is to replace this jack board. Now this is the serial number of your jack board, and it is unique for every board. So the number of the board is KIP2253_4, and this is your serial number. This is a unique serial number of this board. So after replacing this jack board, this will be returned back to you because this is the old one. So as of now, you can, if you have any urgent shows, you can use on the outputs. But according to the past experience on other keyboards, I have noticed that it starts like this first. The speakers stop working, and then slowly what happens is this IC gets short circuited inside, and then the outputs also stop working, because when it short circuits, what happens is it puts a load on this IC over here. So that time what happens, this IC also gets burnt out and the outputs stop working, since this IC supplies current to the amplifier IC as well as the output ICs over here. Now these are the output ICs over here. These are the output ICs for your jacks, where you put the jacks. So once there is a load on this, due to this, once this burns out, and that time what we usually do is we bypass the IC. There have been cases like when this problem happens, I always bypass this IC. Means I put a cut over here and cut the supply going to this IC. Now the speakers are not working, but since the speakers are not working, but still this amplifier IC is still receiving power from this IC. So now if the supply is cut over here, there is no chance of the IC getting burnt out in future. Okay, so that is for people who don't want to replace the amplifier board, because they don't mind if the speakers are not working. Once the outputs are working, so they use it on the outputs only, on the monitors, on the PA, on the mixer, whatever, and they don't mind, I mean, not using the onboard speakers. So that time I bypass this. I put a cut over here, and the supply to this amplifier IC is stopped. I have not done it right now because I need to ask you first whether you want to go for a replacement or whatever. So the cost of this board, this jack board, is around 23,000. I'll send you the exact estimate on WhatsApp. I'll send you the estimate, but I think it's approximately 23,000, and replacement charges is around 1,800. That is the replacement charges of the board. So many people find this very expensive, and that time what they do is they don't mind the onboard speakers not working, but they also don't want to risk suddenly when using for shows, the output also should not go. So that's the reason why I put a cut over here and bypass this IC. So now you decide whether you want to go for a bypass. Means after bypassing this section of the IC over here, there is no risk of this sound on the jacks going off in future. And the second option is to replace this entire board altogether. Okay, and the third option, which I don't do, but there is a third option, that is there is a third party small amplifier board which is available. So what they do is they bypass the IC first, they bypass this amplifier IC and feed it to the third party amplifier module which is fixed here. But the thing is, you will not get that original kind of feel on the onboard speakers. The output will be the same, but if you want to make the speakers on without bypassing the IC, neither replacing the jack board to save the cost, the third party board which comes, that it's approximately 7,500. That job cost around 7,500, which is much cheaper than replacing the board. But the output quality is not that great, means the speakers don't sound that great. If you increase the volume, the speakers sound to distort, and you will ultimately will not use the speakers. You'll go into the settings and turn off the speakers. So sorry, you cannot turn on the speakers later on, because that function commands this IC to switch on the speakers and off. So once you bypass using a third party, you cannot use that function anymore. The speakers on off will have no effect. So but anyway, to stop that sound, sometimes what users do is they just put a empty jack into like this. It's not connected anyway, just a jack they put in the phone socket. This is the phone socket. So if you put anything over here, the speakers stop working. So that's what they do. But now I can only execute two options for you. The first one is to bypass the IC. That job again will cost you same 1,800. Bypassing the IC so that there is no risk of the outputs going off, and also it won't cause short circuit of this IC. So now the second option which also I execute is to replace the jack board. So depending upon your cost and whether you want, what, that's your decision. So you let me know what to do. All right, yeah.